Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And as you can see, it's time to go back to the theater. And ladies and gentlemen, this past weekend, a new movie hit theaters starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm finally getting the chance to see it. It's gonna be one heck of a ride, I have a feeling. I'm hearing a lot of different stuff about it. My review of the 2018 action film, Rampage, coming up now. After an accident on a research space station, an albino gorilla named George, who lives at the San Diego Zoo, stumbles upon a canister from the station, which causes him to become considerably larger and more aggressive and break out of the zoo. Primatologist Davis Okoye, who's in charge of George, along with a few government officials, are on the ape's trail as it seems to be headed to Chicago. As he gets closer to the city, it becomes clear that George isn't the only animal who has mutated from the canister. So what did I think of Rampage? I thought it's an entertaining action flick. This is the type of movie that you know whether you'll like it or you won't as soon as you see the preview. If you've come to see a monster mash with the animals destroying the city and more mindless fun, you'll have a good time. If you're here for characterization, a gripping plot, and so on, you might want to have your head examined. The film is based on the 1986 arcade game, which sees humans being turned into large animals and destroying cities. Here the story is different, as they're actually animals that mutate instead of humans, and while I feel it works fine here, it would have been interesting to see how things would have played out with the human mutation aspect. As you can expect, the movie is packed with a lot of exciting action sequences, including a group of mercenaries chasing and being stalked by a gigantic wolf, a plane crash, and of course the big-time final showdown between the creatures as they brawl through the city. There are a lot of deaths here. People get stomped on, thrown off of buildings, and a few memorable and funny exits for characters which serve as a nice payoff. The relationship between George and Davis is heartwarming as they communicate through sign language and includes a touching backstory of how they met. There's also an interesting and important message about poaching that's thrown in throughout the film. The jokes can be a little bit hit and miss depending on your humor, and the writing is about what you'd expect it to be. It's not Billy Shakespeare here, but you shouldn't expect it to be. The Rock's character can sometimes be a bit unbelievable, and it's almost like he's as invincible as these creatures, as there's one point where he gets shot and a few minutes later, he's fine. The villains also are extremely lame, with the actors sleepwalking, and almost felt like they were in a different movie, in what felt like more of their scenes being added in for padding out the time. The cast stars Dwayne Johnson as Davis, the primatologist who's trying to calm down and stop his gorilla friend from destroying a city. Naomi Harris as Dr. Kate Caldwell, a former genetic engineer who teams up with Davis. Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Harvey Russell, the agent who works for OGA. And Malin Ackerman as Claire Wyden, the woman responsible for the serum which caused the animals to mutate. Rampage knows what it is and doesn't take itself too seriously, and I had a good time watching this fun popcorn flick. I'm gonna give it the rating of... do it. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. Like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAlist. Until next time, Troop out.